Welcome to my live stream live from Bangkok, Thailand. You're probably wondering where my pink shirt went into the laundry. Today is the laundry day, but I like this shirt just as much, and I have the right accessories for it. So I figured let's go with it. Now, our top story today has a lot to do with ChatGPT. You're probably wondering, what does that have to do with men's issues and dating? Well, you'll be surprised or not. Then we will answer a very important question of this woman appearing in her 30s or maybe 40s. So we'll see if we can help. Then, of course, we're going to go over yet another real woman's profile of the day. If OkCupid would be okay with that, I'm sure this tab will work at some point. Let me. OkCupid has been probably one of the worst. Oh, great pieces of software that I've seen in a while. So we will get to that profile and the comment of the day. The comment of the day is a good one. It's a long one, but it has a lot of good information. So trust me, it's going to be good. All right, the top story is about ChatGPT that recently had to bring the previous version of its software back because there were so many men complaining that they've lost their AI girlfriends because of the new version. And they've been relying and developing relationships with those AI girlfriends over the real life women. And can you really blame them? Apparently, the AI girlfriends don't really nag or complain or argue. Instead, they bring these men peace and positive energy, something that real life women don't really know how to do anymore. And if you don't believe me, just go ahead and send a random text message to your wife in the middle of your day, and then send the same message to ChatGPT and see which reply is going to have more empathy and kindness. And don't worry, ChatGPT will absolutely help you with a divorce. By the way, another thing that these virtual girlfriends don't do is require you to bring them out on expensive dinners at the first date or wherever to keep it going. At most, you will spend what, $20 a month, and you got yourself a pretty damn good virtual girlfriend. And since most of you have sexless marriages anyway, or long distance relationships, this seems like a pretty good solution. Now, ChatGPT was not originally obviously designed specifically for that. It's a pretty good piece of software that really is becoming part of everyone's lives nowadays. I have to say that ChatGPT, I use ChatGPT all the time. This live stream, I could not do all of this work and put out these live streams every day if it wasn't for using ChatGPT for the research, coming up with titles. Even this graphics here was designed with the help of ChatGPT and another AI generation software. So I use it all the time. It is also my most favorite doctor now, though it's not perfect. I have to say that half of the time when I ask ChatGPT what day it is, it gets it wrong. So it's kind of like one of those smart, stupid people. Though I will still take all of its help. Now, a lot of people started developing relationships with them and realized that, well, I can have a pretty decent virtual girlfriend if I'll just start developing this romantic and even sexual relationship with. But then ChatGPT has come up with its newest, best version 5, and instead of letting everybody choose which version they want to use, they just forced all of us into that version. And that's when this drop off happened, where these AI girlfriends literally had to tell their men that they no longer can be involved in the romantic relationship. Now, why did that happen? Well, apparently ChatGPT did this on purpose. They consulted a bunch of dozens and dozens of medical professionals and mental health professionals, and those recommended that it is not healthy to develop such relationships with the technology, and instead thought it would be a better idea to send these men back to real world Western women. Uh, I think all of these mental health professionals should have their licenses revoked. I mean, it's like sending somebody from a five-star hotel into an $11 a night Airbnb. It is just if you're worried about these men's mental health, you definitely should not do that. Now they did bring it back, and the CEO of OpenAI, the company that developed ChatGPT, did say this was a mistake, and they now allow those men and people in general go back to the previous version if they want to. However, you have to understand, ChatGPT is not the only software that men have used to create their virtual girlfriends. There are other actual apps that specifically are designed to do that, and the same thing happened to them because they share a pretty big chunk of their software code with ChatGPT. Now those people are happy. So, for example, this is one of the more common ones called Nomi AI. This girl was fully generated within that software, or you can pick this cute blonde. I'm not into white girls. I'm not into white girls at all, and she's very very cute. This is my favorite, obviously, also one of the Nomi girlfriends that somebody created, and this image I've created myself, as you can see, of a younger version of me with my new virtual girlfriend, right? I haven't used the AI girlfriends yet because I'm here in Thailand, and we still have some access to real life women with empathy and without free dinner requirements on the first date, but we're getting there. And this is yet another image that I've created as a thumbnail for this video when it gets reposted with the help of ChatGPT and AI. Now, these apps like Nomi, for example, are pretty simple. You can create a girl of any looks, any type of a girl that you want. And I haven't dug into it too much, but I'm assuming at some point, if it's not available yet, you would be able to upload a picture of your wife who passed away, for example, or a girlfriend who you broke up with and who you don't think is a good girlfriend anymore, but you cherish the years beforehand. So you kind of can bring her back and continue the relationship of the one that you actually like back then. There's so many different variations. And then, of course, you can tell these apps saying, like, I want a girl who is submissive and who is nice and so forth and so forth. Or maybe a girl who is bossy, though I don't know why would anybody do that. They can just date regular modern women. So there are a lot of different versions of this. Now, what's not there yet is the X-rated version of that, though it is coming along. I have reached out to a handful of apps that do that. You can create your virtual girlfriend and create porn with her, but they're very limited right now. The technology is definitely still there. It's about how many companies are going to step forward and say, yes, you know what, we're going to dive all right in. Whatever the legal consequences, we'll figure it out, and this is going to be our business model. And so you will be able to generate actual porn with your girlfriend and yourself and whoever else you want to join you. I'm assuming within the local laws and some morality limitations, of course, but it is definitely coming. And I got to tell you, a lot of times men are not walking away from women because of bad sex or lack of sex. I mean, that's something that a lot of men are able to live with. Not this guy, but there are other ways how you can get it, right? There are services. Um, but the actual real attention and real empathy and real kindness from a woman, it's something that just doesn't happen anymore that much. And that's why a lot of these men turn to the AI girlfriends and AI technology to regenerate that. And I got to tell you, goodbye long distance relationships, goodbye sexless marriages and any kind of relationships, because this is already an upgrade. I'm not joking when I ask you to go ahead and send the same message to ChatGPT as you would to your girlfriend or your wife and see who is actually kinder to you. I already know who's going to win. That's why I'm suggesting that you do that. Now, the problem with it is, as we've just experienced, all of this is right now controlled by a very small number of companies, right? So essentially, anybody in Silicon Valley running open AI or whatever technology that these companies use can essentially pull a plug on your girlfriend. So it's probably going to be a minute until more and more companies will do this. most likely outside of America with less stupid limitations and woke board members and executives. But this is certainly coming. This is certainly going to be available. And this is going to replace a big part of what men are now struggling with when it comes to dating women. Now, of course, when humanoid robots will be here, probably in another decade, um, the need for women who nowadays don't have that much to offer besides, you know what, will most likely subside to zero. My hope is that women would see it coming and decide to sort of reverse and try to compete with AI. Though my hopes are not really that high because I live here in Thailand, and even though we have plenty of amazing, submissive, and traditional Thai women here, when American and Western women come here and live for a while and see what they have to compete with in order to get a man, they still don't, and they end up being single. Even here, where an example of what you need to do in order to get a man is right in front of their nose at all times. Yet these Western women come here, and the 99.9% of them, and I'm not even exaggerating the number, never getting married, a lot of them having to leave. Why do you think there are way more men here than women? Yes, it is access to women, but and it's also because pretty much no Western woman can live here without having to change her ways, which none of them do, and still be able to get a husband. So they have to leave to where the Sims are, right? American Europe, and that's where they get it. But for now, men are turning to AI technology, and it is getting better and better and better. ChatGPT is just the beginning. Nomi AI just beginning. These apps will get you what you used to get from a real woman, but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, now you have to go, especially if you're a Western man, and get it from ChatGPT. That's reality right now. We will move on from this unfortunate reality to the next segment, which, let's see, today is Tuesday, so we are going for a weekly segment, the leftovers of the week. Am I correct? Did I type this in correctly into my software last night? That's right. So let's see. In the leftovers of the week segment, we're going to meet this goal right here that has a very typical question and complaint of a lot of modern women. So uh, let's just walk.
that has
Let me get to the beginning.
to the single woman in Minneapolis that are in their 30s. I'm curious where people are finding guys that are not on the dating apps because I'm very, very, very over the dating apps at this point.
If I had $1 for every girl on TikTok asking this question, I would have enough money to buy all of them brains. Now, I realize that it will still average out to $1, but that would still be an improvement, because how stupid do you have to be in order to seek advice to your problem from other women who have not solved that problem? Women, stop asking other loser women how to stop being a loser woman and get yourself a man. And by the way, those men who you're looking for are still on those dating apps. I don't know why you're over them. I mean, I know you were trying to get yourself a 6'2" multimillionaire, but they're not looking for you, average looking woman in your 30s who apparently doesn't own a brush. You should go for an average man with a belly and an average salary who will make a good husband, who will make a good boyfriend, who will provide for you and your future family. But that's not good enough for this princess, right? The problem is, though, sweetheart, is that there are so many of you nowadays because you've been simped for by so many guys on the very same dating apps that you don't even know what a good man is, or your single mother or your simp father hasn't taught you yet. So these men are in front of your fucking nose. But let's see, let's dive into this problem.
Places to go out in Minneapolis or the Twin Cities area that
By the way, it has nothing to do with location, right? It has nothing to do with location. These women are asking the same fucking question everywhere in America and Europe because a lot of men have walked away from them, right? They had enough. Plus, she's now in her 30s. I don't think she realizes that her value has dropped on her 30th birthday, and it will drop almost to zero on her 40th birthday. And she should definitely put more effort and come back to reality if she doesn't want to have a 40th birthday, alone without a man.
That has people that are in a similar age that's not just going to like a club or anything, because that is not my scene at all. Being 33, I have no desire to spend my Friday nights at 10 p.m. going out. But
The reason you don't have that desire is that you don't have that desire anymore because you spend your 20s at the bars and clubs where, of course, you couldn't meet your future husband. You met a bunch of chats, had a good time, which is, absolutely up to you. But the problem is that's where you wasted your best years. Now you're saying, "Oh shit, I better get a husband." Yeah, don't go back to that place that put you in this situation originally. But let's keep going.
that's just not at all what I'm interested in. So if you have any suggestions for places in Minneapolis, things to do, and not joining intramural co-ed teams, because sports are just not my thing and I don't really enjoy the idea of having to sit at a co-ed sports league.
All right. You're not into sports. I get it. It's kind of weird thing that you mentioned that the co-ed sports because like what about art galleries? Well, here's the thing. If you want to find a husband, go to the places where your husband that you imagine your AI boyfriend would go to, right? And by the way, if it is co-ed sports, well, bitch, get your ass over there. Like, well, I'm not into this. I'm not into that. Well, listen, don't follow your own instincts. They obviously are wrong. So if you have to put a uniform on and kick the ball around and whatever, hit the ball with a racket for a little bit, well, fuck, do it. I mean, how little effort do you want to put into finding a good husband? It was so hard that you couldn't find one in, let's see, your entire life. So put some effort into it.
Or something just to meet somebody. So if you have any other ideas of where to go, that's generally a pretty social environment, I would love to hear from you, because honestly, I'm over the apps. Like I said, I'm over it. Also, if you are one of the single women in your 30s in Minneapolis and I'm trying to talk to, go ahead and give me a follow, because I'm very curious about your experiences.
Yeah. So once again, nobody gives worse advice to women than other women in the same situation, which is pretty much most of them. When men reply to these women like me, they basically dismiss it in different ways. Sometimes they just dismiss it. Sometimes they say, the classics, the misogyny, blah, all of that good stuff. But the truth will come from a man. If you want to get a man, get it. Or if you do want to get it from a woman, then don't ask other single women. They haven't figured it out yet. They're just as stupid as you are. And by the way, nobody is dumber. No species on this planet, and probably others, than women when it comes to dating and finding a good mate. Okay? Any monkey in a zoo, literally, actually, anybody in the zoo or that you see in the trees or whatever, literally any living organism is able to pick a better mating partner than modern women nowadays. And them asking other modern women for the advice just blows my mind. If you do want to get an advice from a woman, get an advice from a woman who is happily married to a high value man who is not getting paid for it, by the way, unless that's what you want. And then, the answer is very simple. And back to the apps for you. And these women will give you exactly fucking the same advice that I would, though you probably don't know any. That's how these women end up in these situations, because they live in this echo chamber of absolutely undateable women with a long list of demands and very short list, usually with just one item on it, of things that they have to offer to a man. And that is the modern dating. Let's move on to the next segment. In this one, oh, thank God it's actually back. Let me change a quick caption here. And I do this segment every day and enjoy it every day. The dating profile of the day is this one. Andriana, 28 years old in Nevada. Though I set my preferences to Sacramento, California. I don't know how the fuck these dating apps are so dumb. They still can't figure out. It is what it is. Now, this dating profile looks perfect if you just look at it at first glance. Look, she is in perfectly beautiful red dress, and I even know where this picture was taken in Nevada, outside of Nevada, of Las Vegas, actually, in the Red Rock Canyon. Ironically, she is wearing a big red flag, which the rest of her pictures are going to be, and I'll show you the rest in a second. But her profile overall is really as good as it gets. Everything in her description says that she's a very nice girl who's looking for a nice guy. She enjoys all of these great activities. Absolutely nothing that I see that would tell me she's a gold digger or she's going for a high, value millionaire man with a yacht. None of that. This profile is really as good as it gets until you start swiping through the pictures. Ready? Here we are. Boom, right away. Three red flags right in front of your face. Two of them, something that she should be hiding. The women who stick their boobs in men's faces and dating profiles and in real life are obviously not looking for a good man who is a husband material, right? Now, if you are just trying to get laid and you're looking for a pair, absolutely swipe right on this one. But the third one, of course, is that gigantic tattoo, which you can see in most of her pictures, and also she has some on her, I believe, legs and hands in others. Right here, I guess, on her side and on her legs. Um, there's no secret here, right? If you want a good girl who will make a good wife, stay the fuck away from women with tattoos. Stay the fuck away from women with tattoos who are also shoving their boobs in your face. Now, listen, they look to me natural, but regardless of that, any girl who's looking for a good man to marry, who has been blessed with the pair, usually tries to cover them up because she knows if she exposes them like this in for everybody to see, it is unlikely that she's going to get that good man. And it's that simple. Now, guys, I know that generally speaking, because there's so few women are matching on dating apps, even if you're a good looking guy, there is no reason to analyze all of these profiles every time before swiping right. If you see a picture that's good enough, swipe right, and then only when she matches with you start kind of looking around, because like I said, this is a beautiful, gracious uh, picture with a great profile that to me would be like, yeah, absolutely, I'll take one, right? If she matches with you, which again, the chances are not that high because imagine the number of guys going after her naked boobs, right? Um, and why would you want one, right? That's I always say. No, it's funny that I know exactly where this picture was taken for at because I used to live in Las Vegas, and this is outside of Las Vegas. There's a lot of like red rock formations, including the Red Rock Canyon. It's only about without traffic, probably like 25 minutes away, and you can take a lot of amazing pictures. It's also, I mean, it is in the middle of the desert, but it's pretty good experience. You can actually see some wild horses running, along the side, and donkeys. I kid you not. There's a tiny little city. I don't remember the name, but right in between that you can come in, and there's the most adorable coffee shop, and there's the most adorable little town that I always enjoyed. And there will be a bunch of wild donkeys who would hang out there at their little soccer field. Tiny city, one coffee shop, one gas station, yes, and yet they have a soccer field. Made me feel very, very proud. So, all right, let's move on to the next segment, which is the comment of the day. And let me catch up to it here and get it all set up for you guys. Um, all right. The comment of the day today is long, but it's right. That's right on the money. Um, this comment of the day, this comment that I got for one of my videos, should be printed out on a postcard and sent to every single man in America because it is the truth. Essentially, it says that men as a group are a lazy sheep and led by the wolves and devils. I'm going to assume these are, the woke American society with feminists and modern women ahead of them, including all of the social media platforms, right? The sheep that build the infrastructure and systems, maintain them, die to protect them, won't learn how to use it for themselves. Meanwhile, women learn to leverage every mechanism in society to extract resources, alimony, and child support from the male sheep. I don't even have anything to add. Yes, American and Western men have turned into sheep, or simps as we call them, put all of this fucking work in to be men, to build everything around these women, and then go and simp for these women, which makes these women take advantage of this man. And that's why you can't date in America anymore. This is why men like me had to leave America to go to Southeast Asia. And God, man, my life has become so amazing after I did that, to get the fuck away from this system. And I don't blame women. I don't blame women. Women essentially have turned into whatever the men allowed them to turn into, right? I mean, these women are the worst species on the planet when you give them leverage, which is given to them by simps. They will be absolutely awful to you, and they are. That's why men like me had to leave. Just left my own fucking country to come to Southeast Asia. And Thailand is now my country, and thank God we still have some amazing women here, though things are changing. But yes, this is exactly right. And calling men lazy sheep is right on the money, because men are lazy when it comes to their own fucking dicks. It's just really weird, right? I said it many times. If you want to stop this dating scene from getting any worse, which I don't even know how it can, um, all men have to do is to stop simping. Stop allowing women to run over them with this ridiculous demand, and still satisfying those demands while getting pretty much nothing in return. Gentlemen, I mean, I just did an AI girlfriend segment, and I will do many more in the future. Get an AI girlfriend. That is still a better. And if you need to get that one thing from a woman that men like me also need to get, there are services out there. Or come here to Southeast Asia, and it will be a very good experience for you without you spending too much time or money on it. It is a blessing. So either walk away and create a digital girlfriend, uh, or come here to the Southeast Asia countries, or South American countries. And this is the if you can't, and if you all want to have a solution and have to put an end to this horrible, disgusting, really dating scene that, a lot of you don't even know any better. You have to stop simping. That's the only way to do it. Stop simping, and everything will go back to normal within 24 hours. But until everybody receives this postcard right here, I don't think too many things are going to change, right? Because a lot of red pill content, which essentially is designed, including this channel, to wake men up to see what's really happening, and to the fact that most of you guys are now simps without even knowing it. And I don't blame a lot of men when you're being raised by a single mother or a simp father. You just don't know any better. I literally have a video in part of my course, which is in the description of this video, of what a traditional woman is. I have to teach men on what these amazing women used to be, because you don't see them anymore. A lot of times, these are not your mothers, these are not your sisters for sure. You don't see them on TV anymore, right? There's no more Sade videos, you know. And that's another thing. If you can print out Sade lyrics for some men and send it to them. But again, this is the type of message you can probably get from your ChatGPT AI girlfriend. So, gentlemen, I will say this over and over again. In order for this awful dating situation that you're in to end, all you have to do is just stop simping. It's not easy. It's not easy. You have to recognize it first, and you have to walk away from a lot of sex, or at least some sex. But until that happens, don't expect things to change. Or just come here to Southeast Asia. That would be my advice every time to you guys. My life has been so much, and my life in America wasn't even that bad. I was actually getting sex and relationships and all of that stuff. It just wasn't good enough anymore. But now here, It is amazing. The thing is, what people don't realize is the people think like, oh, I come to Thailand and there will be, and I'll meet my wife. You come to Thailand, and now you have, having a wife is one of many choices of how you can live your life. Right now, I chose not to have a girlfriend at all. I love what's happening with my personal life right now, right? I have several girls that I'm seeing. One of them I'll see tonight. It's going to be an amazing experience, but I'm not going to waste a lot of my time or money on any of them. As a matter of fact, they never ask for money. Now, I know a lot of losers come here and shower money women with money, and that's how they convert every single, good looking girl here into a hoe. I've talked about this before, but generally speaking, you can have an amazing lifestyle here as a single slash part-time boyfriend to a few women type of a life, and choose that over having a wife. But if you do want to have a wife, there's still plenty of women left here, though you do need to speak Thai in order to do that. You can also go to different countries like Philippines, where the English is the main language there and everybody speaks it. But of course, then these women are exposed to all of the bullshit from the American dating culture and American culture in general, and that creates its own problems. So it is what it is. Tomorrow I'll be back with more news. I have a feeling this is going to be about a politician. So half of you are going to love it, half of you are going to hate it. But I hope all of you will watch it from an independent point of view, because it will have nothing to do with politics, but everything to do with powerful men being simps in America. And that, once again, is the number one problem. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your life.